Danube is Europe's second longest river, after the Volga River, and also the longest river in the European Union region. It is located in Central and Eastern Europe. The Danube was once a long-standing frontier of the Roman Empire, and today flows through 10 countries. Originating in Germany, the Danube flows southeast for 2,860 kilometers, passing through and touching the border of Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova and Ukraine before emptying into the Black Sea. Its drainage basin extends into 9 more countries. Names and etymology. The Latin name Danuvius is one of a number of Old European river names derived from a Proto-Indo-European *Danu. Other river names from the same root include the Don, Donets, Dzvina, Duna, Dusna, Dnieper and Dniestr. In Rigvedic Sanskrit, Danu means fluid, drop. In Avestan, the same word means river. In the Rigveda, Danu once appears as the mother of Vrtra. It is possible that Danu in Scythian as in Avestan was a generic word for river. Dniepr and Dniestr from Danupris and Danastius are presumed to continue Scythian *Danupara far river and *Danunastia near river, respectively. Known to the ancient Greeks as the Istros, a borrowing from a Daco-Thracian name meaning strong, swift. In Latin, the Danube was variously known as Danubius, Danuvius or Resista. The Dacian, Thracian name was Donorus for the upper Danube and Istros for the lower Danube. The Thraco-Phrygian name was Matoas, the bringer of luck. The Latin name is masculine. German Donau is feminine, as it has been reinterpreted as containing the suffix ouwe, wetland. The modern languages spoken in the Danube basin all use names derived from Danuvius. German, Donau, Silesian, Dunarch, Upper Sorbian, Dunarch, Slovak, Dunarch, Hungarian, Duna, Serbo-Croatian, Dunav, Romani, Dunav, Bulgarian, Dunav, Ukrainian, Dunaj. Geography. Classified as an international waterway, it originates in the town of Donaueschingen, which is in the Black Forest of Germany, at the confluence of the rivers Brigach and Breg. The Danube then flows southeast for 1,914 kilometers, passing through 4 capital cities before emptying into the Black Sea via the Danube Delta in Romania and Ukraine. Once a long-standing frontier of the Roman Empire, the river passes through and touches the borders of 10 countries: Romania, Hungary, Serbia, Austria, Germany, Bulgaria, Slovakia, Croatia, Ukraine, and Moldova. Its drainage basin extends into 9 more drainage basin in addition to the bordering countries. The drainage basin includes parts of 9 more countries: Bosnia and Herzegovina, the Czech Republic, Slovenia, Montenegro, Switzerland, Italy, Poland, the Republic of Macedonia and Albania. The highest point of the drainage basin is the summit of Piz Bernina at the Italy-Switzerland border, 4,049 meters. Tributaries. The Danube's watershed extends into many other countries. Many Danubian tributaries are important rivers in their own right, navigable by barges and other shallow draft boats. From its source to its outlet into the Black Sea, its main tributaries are cities and towns. The Danube flows through many cities, including 4 national capitals, more than any other river in the world. Ordered from the source to the mouth they are: Germany, Donaueschingen in the state of Baden-Württemberg, rivers Brigach and Breg join to form the Danube, Mooringen and der Donau in Baden-Württemberg, Tuttlingen in Baden-Württemberg, Sigmaringen in Baden-Württemberg, Riedlingen in Baden-Württemberg, Mundekingen in Baden-Württemberg, Engen in Baden-Württemberg, Ulm in Baden-Württemberg, Neu-Ulm in Bavaria, Günzburg in Bavaria, Dillingen an der Donau in Bavaria, Donauwörth in Bavaria, Neuburg an der Donau in Bavaria, Ingolstadt in Bavaria, Kelheim in Bavaria, Regensburg in Bavaria, Straubing in Bavaria, Deggendorf in Bavaria, Passau in Bavaria. Austria, Linz, capital of Upper Austria, Krems in Lower Austria, Tulln in Lower Austria, Vienna, capital of Austria and the most populous city on the Danube, where the Danube floodplain is called the Lobau, though the inner Stadt is situated away from the main flow of the Danube. Slovakia, Bratislava, capital of Slovakia, Komárno-Sturovo, Hungary, Moson Magyaróvár, Komárom, Esztergom, Visegrad, VAC, Szentendre, Dunakeszi, Budapest, capital of Hungary, the largest city and the largest agglomeration on Danube, Szentmiklós, Miklós, Százhalombatta, Rakip, Adani, Dunaújváros, Dunafoldvar, Pax, Kalocso, Baja Mohacs, Croatia, Vukovar, Serbia, Apatin, Baka, Palanka, Futog, Vetnik, Novi Sad, Sremski, Karlovci, Zemun, Belgrade, capital of Serbia, Pančevo, Smederevo, Kovin Veliko, Gradist, Golubac, Donji, Milanovac, Kladova, Bulgaria, Vidan, Lom, Kozlodwi, Orjuhovo, Nikopol, Balin, Svistopers, Tutrak and Silistra, Moldova, Georgia, Ukraine, Reni, Ismail, Kilya-Volkov, Romania, Moldova, Nua, Orsova, Drobeta, Turnu, Severin, Califat, Bechet, Dabileni, Korabia, Turnu, Maguriel, Zimnisha, Giriu, Oltanita, Kalarazi, Thetesti, Cernovoda, Passover, Brela Galati, largest port on the Danube, Bizaxia, Tulcea Sulina, last city through which it flows. Islands: Adikawa Lay Island, Ostrovol Mare, Gogosu, Balta I Alamite, Berlin Island, Sea Sepal Island, Donor Insel, Great Brailer Island, Great War Island, Island of Vukovar, Island of Sarandgrad, Zitny Ostrov, Sijakos, Island of Santandra, Margaret Island, Sea Sepal Island, Island of Mohacs, Ostrovol Siokanesti, Ostrovol Mare Azlaz, Ostronovo, Kozlodwi Island, Rybarsko Ostronovo, Novi Sad, Vadim Island. Sectioning upper section from Spring to Devon Gate, Danube remains a characteristic mountain river until Passau, with average bottom gradient 0.0012%. From Passau to Devon Gate the gradient lessens to 0.0006%. Middle section, from Devon Gate to Iron Gate, the riverbed widens and the average bottom gradient becomes only 0.0006%. Lower section, from Iron Gate to Sulina, with average gradient as little as 0.0003%. Modern navigation. The Danube is navigable by ocean ships from the Black Sea to Brela in Romania and by river ships to Kelheim, Bavaria, Germany. Smaller craft can navigate further upstream to Ulm, Württemberg, Germany. About 60 of its tributaries are also navigable. Since the completion of the German Rhine-Main-Danube Canal in 1992, the river has been part of a trans-European waterway from Rotterdam on the North Sea to Sulina on the Black Sea, a distance of 3,500 kilometers. In 1994 the Danube was declared one of 10 pan-European transport corridors, routes in Central and Eastern Europe that required major investment over the following 10 to 15 years. The amount of goods transported on the Danube increased to about 100 million tons in 1987. In 1999, transport on the river was made difficult by the NATO bombing of 3 bridges in Serbia during the Kosovo War. Clearance of the resulting debris was completed in 2002, and a temporary pontoon bridge that hampered navigation was removed in 2005. At the Iron Gate, the Danube flows through a gorge that forms part of the boundary between Serbia and Romania. It contains the Iron Gate I hydroelectric power station dam, followed at about 60 kilometers downstream by the Iron Gate II hydroelectric power station. On the 13th of April 2006, a record peak discharge at Iron Gate Dam reached 15,400 cubic meters per second. There are 3 artificial waterways built on the Danube: the Danube-Tisa-Danube Canal in the Banat and Bačka regions, the 64 km Danube-Black Sea Canal between Crnovoda and Constance, finished in 1984, shortens the distance to the Black Sea by 400 km. The Rhine-Main-Danube Canal is about 171 km, finished in 1992, linking the North Sea to the Black Sea. Piracy. In 2010-12, shipping companies claimed that the vessels suffered from regular pirate attacks on the Serbian and Romanian stretches of the Danube. However, these transgressions may not be considered acts of piracy as defined according to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, but rather instances of river robbery. On the other hand, media reports say the crews on transport ships often steal and sell their own cargo and then blame the plundering on pirates, and the alleged attacks are not piracy but small-time contraband theft that is taking place along the river. Danube Delta. The Danube Delta is the largest river delta in the European Union. The greater part of the Danube Delta lies in Romania, while its northern part, on the left bank of the Chileram, is situated in Ukraine. The approximate surface is 4,152 square kilometers, of which 3,446 square kilometers are in Romania, if one includes the lagoons of Razim Sino, of which 865 square kilometers water surface, which are located south of the delta proper, but are related to it geologically and ecologically. The total area of the Danube Delta reaches 5,165 square kilometers. The Danube Delta is also the best preserved river delta in Europe, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a Ramsar Site. Its lakes and marshes support 45 freshwater fish species. Its wetlands support vast flocks of migratory birds of over 300 species, including the endangered pygmy cormorant. These are threatened by rival canalization and drainage schemes such as the Bystroy Canal. International cooperation, ecology and environment. The International Commission for the Protection of the Danube River is an organization consisting of 14 member states and the European Union. The Commission, established in 1998, deals with the whole Danube River basin, which includes tributaries and the groundwater resources. Its goal is to implement the Danube River Protection Convention by promoting and coordinating sustainable and equitable water management, including conservation, improvement and rational use of waters, and the implementation of the EU Water Framework Directive Navigation. The Danube Commission is concerned with the maintenance and improvement of the river's navigation conditions. It was established in 1948 by 7 countries bordering the river. Members include representatives from Austria, Bulgaria, Croatia, Germany, Hungary, Moldova, Slovakia, Romania, Russia, Ukraine, and Serbia. It meets regularly twice a year. It also convenes groups of experts to consider items provided for in the Commission's working plans. The Commission dates to the Paris Conferences of 1856 and 1921, which established for the first time an international regime to safeguard free navigation on the Danube. Today the Commission include riparian and non-riparian states. Geology. Although the headwaters of the Danube Danube are relatively small today. Geologically, the Danube is much older than the Rhine, with which its catchment area competes in today's southern Germany. This has a few interesting geological complications, since the Rhine is the only river rising in the Alps mountains which flows north towards the North Sea. An invisible line beginning at Piz-Lunghun divides large parts of southern Germany, which is sometimes referred to as the European watershed. Before the last ice age in the Pleistocene, the Rhine started at the southwestern tip of the Black Forest, while the waters from the Alps that today feed the Rhine were carried east by the sea called Erdnau. Parts of this ancient river's bed, which was much larger than today's Danube, can still be seen in canyons in today's landscape of the Swabian Alb. After the upper Rhine valley had been eroded, most waters from the Alps changed the direction and began feeding the Rhine. Today's upper Danube is but a meek reflection of the ancient one, since the Swabian Alb is largely shaped of porous limestone, and since the Rhine's level is much lower than the Danube's. Today subsurface rivers carry much water from the Danube to the Rhine. On many days in the summer, when the Danube carries little water, it completely oozes away noisily into these underground channels at two locations in the Swabian Alb, which are referred to as the Donauversicherung. Most of this water resurfaces only 12 kilometers south at the Archthof, Germany's wellspring with the highest flow, an average of 8,500 liters per second north of Lake Constance, thus feeding the Rhine. The European water divide applies only for those waters that pass beyond this point, and only during the days of the year when the Danube carries enough water to survive the sinkholes in the Donauversicherung. Since such large volumes of underground water erode much of the surrounding limestone, it is estimated that the Danube upper course will one day disappear entirely in favor of the Rhine, an event called stream capturing. The hydrological parameters of Danube are regularly monitored in Croatia at Batina, Dlj, Vukovar and Ilok. History. The Danube Basin was the site of some of the earliest human cultures. The Danubian Neolithic cultures include the linear pottery cultures of the mid-Danube Basin. Many sites of the 6th to 3rd millennium BC Vinca culture have sited along the Danube. The 3rd millennium BC Vucedil culture is famous for its ceramics. Darius the Great King of Persia crossed the river in the late 6th century BC in order to invade European Scythia and to subdue the Scythians. Alexander the Great defeated the Triballian king Simus and the northern barbarian Thracian and Illyrian tribes by advancing from Macedonia as far as the Danube in 336 BC. Under the Romans, the Danube formed the border of the empire with the tribes to the north almost from its source to its mouth. At the same time, it was a route for the transport of troops and the supply of settlements downstream. From AD 37 to the reign of the Emperor Valentinian I, the Danubian Limes was the northeastern border of the empire, with occasional interruptions such as the fall of the Danubian Limes in 259. The crossing of the Danube into Dacia was achieved by the Imperium Romanum, first in two battles in 102 and then in 106, after the construction of a bridge in 101 near the garrison town of Drobeta at the Iron Gate. This victory over Dacia under Despalus enabled the province of Dacia to be created, but in 271 it was lost again. Avars used the river as the southeastern border in the 6th century. Ancient cultural perspectives of the lower Danube. Part of the river's Danubius Oistros was also known as the Okeanos in ancient times, being called the Okeanos Potamos. The lower Danube was also called the Keris Okanoio in the Argonautica by Apollonius Rhodos. At the end of the Okeanos Potamos is the holy island of Alba, sacred to the Pelasgian Apollo, greeting the sun rising in the east. Hecatia Sabdaritas refers to Apollo's island from the region of the Hyperboreans, in the Okeanos. It was on Leuci, in one version of his legend, that the hero Achilles was buried. Old Romanian folk songs recount a white monastery on a white island with 9 priests. Ottoman-Hungarian and Ottoman-Habsburg rivalry along the Danube between the late 14th and late 19th centuries. The Ottoman Empire competed first with the Kingdom of Hungary and later with the Austrian Habsburgs for controlling the Danube, which formed the northern border of the Ottoman Empire for centuries. Many of the Ottoman-Hungarian wars and Ottoman-Habsburg wars were fought along the river. The most important wars of the Ottoman Empire along the Danube include the Battle of Nicopolis, the Siege of Belgrade, the Battle of Mohacs, the First Turkish Siege of Vienna, the Siege of Esztergom, the Long War, the Battle of Vienna, the Great Turkish War, the Crimean War and the Russo-Turkish War. Economics. Drinking water along its course. The Danube is a source of drinking water for about 20 million people. In Baden-Württemberg, Germany, almost 30% of the water for the area between Stuttgart, Bad Mergentheim, Aalen and Albu now comes from purified water of the Danube. Other cities such as Ulm and Passau also use some water from the Danube. In Austria and Hungary, most water is drawn from ground and spring sources, and only in rare cases is water from the Danube used. Most states also find it too difficult to clean the water because of extensive pollution. Only parts of Romania where the water is cleaner still obtain drinking water from the Danube on a regular basis. Navigation and transport. In the 19th century, the Danube was an important waterway but was, as the Times of London put it, annually swept by ice that will lift a large ship out of the water and cut her in two as if she were a carrot. Today, as Corridor 7 of the European Union, the Danube is an important transport route. Since the opening of the Rhine-Main-Danube Canal, the river connects the port of Rotterdam and the industrial centers of Western Europe with the Black Sea and, also, through the Danube-Black Sea Canal, with the port of Constanza. The waterway is designed for large-scale inland vessels, but it can carry much larger vessels on most of its course. The Danube has been partly canalized in Germany and Austria. Proposals to build a number of new locks to improve navigation have not progressed, due in part to environmental concerns. Downstream from the Freudenau locks in Vienna, canalization of the Danube was limited to the Gabčíkovo Dam and locks near Bratislava and the 2 double iron gate locks in the border stretch of the Danube between Serbia and Romania. These locks have larger dimensions. Downstream of the Iron Gate, the river is free-flowing all the way to the Black Sea, a distance of more than 860 kilometers. The Danube connects with the Rhine-Main-Danube Canal at Kallheim, with the Donau Canal in Vienna, and with the Danube-Black Sea Canal at Cernavodă. Apart from a couple of secondary navigable branches, the only major navigable rivers linked to the Danube are the Drava, Sava and Tisa. In Serbia, a canal network also connects to the river. The network, known as the Danube-Tisa-Danube canals, links sections downstream. In the Austrian and German sections of the Danube, a type of flat-bottomed boat called a zill was developed for use along the river. Zillen is still used today for fishing, ferrying, and other transport of goods and people in this area. Fishing. The importance of fishing on the Danube, which was critical in the Middle Ages, has declined dramatically. Some fishermen are still active at certain points on the river, and the Danube Delta still has an important industry. The Upper Danube ecoregion alone has about 60 fish species, and the Lower Danube Dniester ecoregion has about twice as many. Among these are an exceptionally high diversity of sturgeon, a total of 6 species, but these are all threatened and have largely or entirely, in the case of the European sea sturgeon, sturgeon disappeared from the river. The hutcheon, one of the largest species of salmon, is endemic to the Danube basin, but has been introduced elsewhere by humans. Tourism. Important tourist and natural spots along the Danube include the Wachau Valley, the National Park Donauauen in Austria, Gemens in Hungary, the Nature Park Oberi Donau in Germany, Kopatski Rit in Croatia, Iron Gate in Serbia and Romania, the Danube Delta in Romania, and the Srebana Nature Reserve in Bulgaria. Also, leisure and travel cruises on the river are of significance. Besides the often frequented route between Vienna and Budapest, some ships even go from Passau in Germany to the Danube Delta and back. During the peak season, more than 70 cruise liners are in use on the river, while the traffic-free upper parts can only be discovered with canoes or boats. The Danube region is not only culturally and historically of importance, but also due to its fascinating landmarks and sites important for the regional tourism industry. With its well-established infrastructure regarding cycling, hiking and travel possibilities, the region along the Danube attracts every year an international clientele. In Austria alone, there are more than 14 million overnight stays and about 6.5 million arrivals per year. The Danube banks in Budapest are a part of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. They can be viewed from a number of sightseeing cruises offered in the city. The Danube Bend is also a popular tourist destination. Danube Bike Trail. The Danube Bike Trail is a bicycle trail along the river. Especially the parts through Germany and Austria are very popular, which makes it one of the 10 most popular bike trails in Germany. The Danube Bike Trail starts at the origin of the Danube and ends where the river flows into the Black Sea. It is divided into 4 sections: Donaueschingen and Passau, Passau Vienna, Vienna Budapest, Budapest Black Sea. Sultan's Trail. The Sultan's Trail is a hiking trail that runs along the river between Vienna and Smederevo in Serbia. Further, the Sultan's Trail leaves the Danube, terminating in Istanbul. Sections along the river are as follows: Vienna Budapest, Budapest Smederevo, Donausteig. In 2010, the Donausteig, a hiking trail from Passau to Green, was open. It is 450 kilometers long and it is divided into 23 stages. The route passes 5 Bavarian and 40 Austrian communities. An impressive landscape and beautiful viewpoints, which are along the river, are the highlights of the Donausteig. The Route of Emperors and Kings. The Route of Emperors and Kings is an international touristic route leading from Regensburg to Budapest, calling in Passau, Linz and Vienna. The international consortium ARGE Die Donaustrasse der Kaiser und Könige, comprising 10 tourism organizations, shipping companies, and cities, strives for the conservation and touristic development of the Danube region. In medieval Regensburg, with its maintained old town, stone bridge and cathedral, the route of emperors and kings begins. It continues to Engelhardt-Zell, with the only Trappist monastery in Austria. Further highlight stops along the Danube include the Schlogener Schlonge, the city of Linz, which was European Capital of Culture in 2009 with its contemporary art richness, the Melkabi, the university city of Krems and the cosmopolitan city of Vienna. Before the route of emperors and kings ends, you pass Bratislava and Budapest, the latter which was seen as the twin town of Vienna during the times of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Since ancient Roman times, famous emperors in the retinue traveled on and along the Danube and used the river for travel and transportation. While traveling on the mainland was quite exhausting, most people preferred to travel by ship on the Danube. So the route of emperors and kings was the setting for many important historical events, which characterized the Danube up until today. The route got its name from the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick I of Barbarossa and the Crusaders, as well as from Richard I of England, who had been jailed in the Dürnstein Castle, which is situated above the Danube. The most imperial journeys throughout time were those of the Habsburg family. Once crowned in Frankfurt, the emperors ruled from Vienna and also held in Regensburg the perpetual Diet of Regensburg. Many famous castles, palaces, residences and state-run convents were built by the Habsburger along the river. Nowadays they still remind us of the bold architecture of the Donaubaroque. Today, people can not only travel by boat on the Danube but also by train, by bike on the Danube Bike Trail or a walk on the Donausteig, and visit the UNESCO World Heritage Cities of Regensburg, Oachow and Vienna. Important national parks: Naturpark Obere Donau, Donau-Wenzwischen Neuburg and Ingolstadt. Map. Nature Protection Area Donaulitin, National Park Donauauen. Map. Kronina Krajina Oblast Dunajske Luhy. Map. Danube National Park. Map. Danube Drava National Park. Map. Natural Park Kopatsky Rit. Map. Gornja Poranavlja Nature Reserve. Map. Fruska Gora National Park. Kovijsko Petrovaradinsky Rit Nature Reserve, Great War Island Nature Reserve, Verdap National Park, Iron Gates Natural Park, Persina Nature Park. Map. Kalamok Brushland Protected Site. Map. Srebana Nature Reserve. Map. Makan Mountains Natural Park, Small Island of Brela Natural Park, Danube Delta Biosphere Reserve. Map. Danube Biosphere Reserve in Ukraine.